Henry, like, Hollywood really messed with your head. I mean, they nearly gave you the big gig so many times.
Yeah. There was, I mean, Superman was one of them.
Oh, the first time around, yeah.
Yeah, Bond was another one. And now I want both.
I'll show them.
Take that, Hollywood. Yeah, essentially, I got close to a bunch of stuff and didn't get it. But it's funny that people think that that's a bad thing, where in Hollywood, everyone's auditioning, or in the acting industry, everyone's trying to get a role, and they're not necessarily getting them. And so, to get an opportunity to be in the limelight by missing out on the big roles is actually a good thing, as opposed to a bad thing. And I count my lucky stars for each one of those.
Okay, you're turning it into a positive. It still sounds quite just lose jobs all the time. It's like, no, didn't get it again. It's great. But it's great for my profile. I'm the guy who never works. Because wasn't Twilight written for you?
Oh, well, hey, I don't know. I wouldn't go that far. Or you can. I think the writer of the books, when the movie came around, I think I was her first choice. I think. That's the rumour I heard. And she wanted me to play the role, but it wasn't up to her. And instead, you know, a very talented actor played it instead.
Wow. Who will remain nameless. Not that he's angry.
Wealthy and famous, but nameless.
But now, the odd thing about kind of this movie is that Russell, you met Fat Cavill.
Yeah. He definitely wasn't Fat Cavill when I met him at 16, no. But we were shooting here in London a movie called Proof of Life in 2000. And there was the opening sequence of the film was shot at Stowe College, you know. And we went out there and there was a kid there called Merlin Hanbury Tennyson who was playing my son. And in a break of the shooting, you know, which was actually, there was a rugby union game going on, and there was one kid on that field who was very fluid and in control, so it actually caught my eye, and I was watching it. Then that kid that was fluid and in control came over to have a chat. But all his questions were about acting, you know. And there was just a smile in his eyes, but there was something dead serious behind that smile. So instead of not answering the questions or whatever, because you get asked these questions 100,000 times, I told him the truth, you know, in the brief moment that I had with him. And put it in front of him that, you know, it's a challenge that's up to him, you know. Nobody's going to give it to you. A couple of days later, I was putting a package together for the kid who played my son, because I figured the greatest thing if you're at boarding school must be unexpected mail, right? You know? Yeah. So I thought, I'll put one together for that other bloke. And I remembered his name because he'd been very clear when he said it. He didn't say, hi, I'm Fat Cavill, but he did say, hi.
You should have done. That wouldn't have the same sort of, you know, power to the message, would it? Yeah. Dear Fat Cavill.
So, and what
Fat Cavill is Superman.
It's very interesting because I had two of the same photographs, and for the one that I wrote for Merlin, I put on it, you come from a long line of generals. There's a photograph from Gladiator. He went and joined the army. 3 tours of Afghanistan later, and now he does close personal security here in London.
Wow.
And on Henry's, I put, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Basically, you know, if you want it, you go and get it, you know. Yeah. 12 years later, and it was probably 3 months into working together, you know, I finally said to him, do I know you from somewhere? And he got this little smile in his eyes, and he went, do you remember going to Stowe School? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, do you remember a kid that came and talked to you about acting? I went, yeah? Yes, that's me. I said, really? What did I say? And he said, well, you said they pay you pretty well, but they treat you like I said, yes, Henry.
You're not fond of the face furniture, are you?
It's not that I'm not fond of it. It's just that, you know, if I'm walking past schools, people give me funny looks. It's tough to buy Vans. Can't give children sweeties.
You normally do that a lot. Long enough? Why not? Hey guys, I'm Superman. Come get some sweets.
I'm not a stranger. I'm Superman.
I think he rocks it really. Very few men can carry that off. But
no, it's very good. Mind you, but do you know what that's annoying about that? That's like if Henry Cavill wore a stupid hat, you would think, oh, that stupid hat looks really good on him. And it's not that. Just he looks really good. And you put it on, it's a stupid hat. Yeah. Henry, huge star now, but there was a bit in your career where you kind of were going to give up, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
last week.
Yeah, that's today. Yes, there was. I think early on in my career, I got the Count of Monte Cristo, and then a couple of movies after that, and then I was auditioning. I was always aiming for leading roles, and getting all the right things were being said to me afterwards by the casting directors, and saying, you were great, the best person who walked in the room, but you're not a name, and we need a name. And so that was a thing, and I thought, well, this feels a bit like a Catch-22 scenario, and I became a little bit disenchanted with the whole thing, and I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to give it a little bit more time, and then I'm going to follow my original course, which was go join the armed forces. And it was then that I got the Bond screen test. And that was the thing which put me in Variety, and then my name was in Variety, and then more people started pursuing me, and it became a bit more... I was not a name as such, but I had at least been printed in Variety.
Well, also, the fact that you got so close, I mean, made you kind of a player, I guess. People were...
Sort of. I mean, if they were interested, then there's a chance that I had something.
Oh, Henry, I don't know if you know this, but the Bond position is vacant.
Hold on, mate, hold on.
That's why you're wearing glasses. I mean, I have to ask you, are you in the running? Have you put yourself out of the running? If they came a-calling, would you say yes?
I would definitely have a conversation. I think there's...
Lunch? Possibly a lunch?
Lunch. Yeah. I mean, from what I understand, there's very, very early conversations happening up top at MGM and with Barbara and Mike, but there's no list as such yet. So I
There's
think...
no list, Tom.
I was like, how do
list.
you know that?
It's better on the internet.
You are genuinely a fan of the books and the game and everything. Apparently, on set, you know more than anyone else.
I wouldn't necessarily say anyone else, but I'm a big fan.
Yes.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah. So do you correct people?
I don't necessarily... I am effusive about getting the... being loyal to the source material. Let's put it that way.
OK. Yeah. So, yes, you do. You do fly your nerd flag with pride.
Yes.
Now, one of your hobbies, and he's got a lot of them, ladies and gentlemen, one of your hobbies is you paint...
Makes me sound weird.
Well, you do have more hobbies than the average man, I'd say. But you paint... Is it World of Warcraft?
Warhammer.
Warhammer, I'm a fool.
It's Warhammer, Greg.
OK, Warhammer. So you paint by hand?
Yes, yeah.
Does everyone do that, or can you buy them already
No,
painted?
you have to paint them, but it's just how much effort you put into it.
And you put a lot of effort.
There's the painting, modelling side of the hobby, and then there's the gaming side of the hobby.
OK. And when you paint them, what do you do with them then, Henry?
Then you put them together in little armies and you fight against someone else's army. It is fun.
Oh,
I mean,
very
it sounds
fun.
ridiculous, but it is
Yeah,
fun.
no, toys, very good fun.